We're here in the beautiful Amsterdam with Amaury Sechet, one of the lead developers of Bitcoin Cash. Amaury, how are you doing?
A bit exhausted actually. A lot of things going on at the hackathon, but good.
All right. Yeah, we're almost, I think, over the half of it, of the 32 hours. What do you do here exactly? Coordinating, developing?
So I've been mostly around to answer, people have various questions about how the technology works, and sometimes they seek advice, something like that. So that's where I'm trying to help. I'm also gonna judge at the end because they're gonna be like the winning project. They have prize for the project that do well. So I'm gonna be part of the jury that decide who wins.
Yeah. What are you hoping for? I mean, did you see some great ideas yet? I mean.
Actually, there are a lot of great ideas. Now it's gonna come down to execution as well because the time window is pretty short, so people have to prioritize pretty ruthlessly to make something happen. But this is what is right. Like this kind of event is gonna show up like who has great idea and who has great execution, and so that's a very very good way I think to find talent in the space. Also a very good way to have like many people that are in the space to talk to each other and do something together. I think it's very good for the ecosystem.
So it also focuses more on transaction, do you think, or transaction technology of Bitcoin Cash, or what are you hoping for?
I'm hoping to be surprised, right? Like I'm not hoping for something specific. I'm hoping that someone is gonna come up with some, crazy good idea that I've not seen coming. That would be the best outcome. Yeah.
All right. I mean, for the greater public, Bitcoin ABC is a leading developer group within Bitcoin Cash. I mean, what do you guys do? What are you working on at the moment? I mean.
Bitcoin ABC is the software that runs the infrastructure, if you will, of Bitcoin Cash. It's not the only one, but it's the the most used one. So essentially, like as long as we do our job reasonably well, you won't notice us that much. Our job is to make sure that the infrastructure is well maintained and everything works well. So making sure that blocks propagate quickly and properly, that transaction also propagate well on the network. This kind of stuff, right?
All right. And actually, I mean, there was this discussion with the panel. Yeah, there were some three speakers, and they were talking about the future of Bitcoin Cash. What is actually your vision on the future of Bitcoin Cash? I mean.
So the way I see it, the most important things for Bitcoin Cash is cash, and that means that we need to improve on two aspects mostly. One is scale. If you want to be money, that is like if you want to be money cash that is used at very, very large scale in the world, we need to increase throughput quite dramatically. And the second thing is making transaction more instant. So right now, the security of transaction before a block is found is, like for small amount it's okay, but for larger amount it's probably not okay.
Security.
Yes. Yeah. So. But security is always like, a lot of people have a very black and white view of security, but it's kind of a trade-off. So, the things that people are going to be willing to do to steal €5 are going to be much less than the things people are willing to do to steal €100. And they're going to be willing to do even more to steal, €10,000, right? So the level of security that we have for ZeroConf right now is probably okay for a €5 transaction, but I would say certainly not for a €10,000 transaction, right? So we'd like to improve that level of security as much as possible.
Yeah, so security is a thing, and we're in like for 10 years Bitcoin. Satoshi Nakamoto wrote the white paper 10 years ago. If you look to the horizon, where is Bitcoin Cash in 10 years? Like we have in 2028.
What I would like to see happen is within the next 10 years we have a dramatic amount of adoption. So ideally, if everything goes well in 10 years, you would be able to buy on most websites on the internet using Bitcoin Cash. You could find a reasonable amount of shops in various cities in the world that would accept Bitcoin Cash for their services. That would be, I think that would be a good result. Yeah.
All right. Just as a payment system, just. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. As an alternative for PayPal, Visa.
Yeah. So right, actually earlier today I was trying to pay some bill of mine, and because I've been traveling a lot lately, I've been like in Italy for the transaction workshop, and now I'm here in Amsterdam. I've been in France in between, and I traveled a bit, so they probably like flagged my card or something. At least it was not going through for some reason. So I'm waiting for the day I don't need to go through that system anymore. It's not working very well for me.
All right, and I mean, if you look at hard fork, within a few weeks there will be a hard fork of Bitcoin Cash,
Yes.
probably. What's your vision on that? I mean,
So the hard fork has been a bit contentious this time. What most of the implementation, and ABC being the leading one, but we have also like Bitprim and Bcash and a few others that want to do the same as us. We're gonna change a few stuff. From a user perspective, it's not gonna change much, right? Those are infrastructure change, but those are infrastructure change that helps mostly propagating block faster. And practically speaking, that means that we can grow to bigger block size before we run into issues.
above the 24, 25.
Yeah, so for most users, it's not gonna change anything. Though there is another development team that have released the software on that have announced their software on August 16. That essentially is putting out a very different roadmap out there. Sadly, they did that on August 16 when the freeze date was August 15. So essentially, they ensured that by doing it, by choosing that timeline, they ensured that it would be contentious, and hopefully, I don't think. This is me speaking, right? I cannot predict the future. I cannot predict the future, but I think not that much is gonna come out of it. They still don't have a public testnet. They've done their release, actual release of the software. I think like a week ago or something like that. And they still don't have a public testnet, so I think they are very late on their schedule. If they want to, if they want to deploy on their own machine and stuff like that, they can do pretty quickly. But if they want to onboard, a good chunk of the ecosystem, it's gonna be very hard. So, but I don't think they are on track to make
the Bitcoin SV.
Yeah, it's a Bitcoin SV. Yes.
Okay. So actually, they won't be on track or on time to implement.
I mean, that's what it looks like to me right now, right? But I cannot see the future any better than anyone else. So maybe there is a surprise.
Right. So what are you hoping for? I mean, we have this possible fork. We have a possible split actually in Bitcoin Cash. What are you hoping for? That it just stays united and.
So the way I see it is that it's it's kind of like a stress test, but more on the social aspect of BCH. Potentially it's gonna be damaging, but if it's not too damaging, it's probably a good thing. Actually, the community is gonna come out of that stronger than it was.
That's actually also what BCH SV is saying. So.
Yeah. Well, they're not wrong on that one. They're wrong on everything else, though.
All right. Thank you very much, Amaury, for your time. And perhaps we always end with your favorite altcoins. Yeah, of course, number one is very known, but Bitcoin Cash. You have some other projects you like?
Yes. Yeah, I would say like probably either privacy coins, things like Monero or Green or Beam or this kind of stuff. Or avalanche-based coin as well seems very promising. So it's like a new consensus algorithm.
What's the example of an avalanche-based coin?
So there is so they are in that development right now, right? Okay. But there is a coin. It's gonna be called Avalanche or something similar, or Avacoin, or but like I'm not quite sure actually, top of my head. But this is a new type of consensus algorithm. And so it may have like interesting new properties.
All right. Thank you very much, Amaury, again, and all the best with all developments.
Yeah, all the best to you.
Okay, thanks.